What's up, guys? Welcome back to Nintendo Memories, and today we're going to be talking about some Metroid Prime. Yes, we've been talking about Zelda for a while, but I really wanted to kind of take today and just give Metroid some time to shine, because really and truly, Metroid, next to Zelda, is one of my favorite franchises of all time. I love me some Mario, but Zelda and Metroid really are my top two favorite franchises. Which one really comes out on top? Don't really know. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about all the rumors surrounding this potential Metroid Prime remaster. And for those of you who don't know, Metroid Prime is rumored to be coming to the Nintendo Switch this holiday. And honestly, to me, this makes a whole lot of sense. Whether this rumor turns out to be true this year or not, I think the Metroid Prime games have got to come to Switch at some point. And the reason for that is because let's look at the current state of Metroid. Before Metroid Dread and Metroid Samus Returns and Metroid Prime 4 were announced, Metroid was not in a very good state. And what I mean by that is we had Metroid Other M that came out for the Wii, and it had a lot of controversial reviews. It was kind of midway for me. I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it either. I mean, it was an okay game. Now, Metroid Prime Federation Force is not good. No, I absolutely did not like that game. It was a huge disappointment when they announced that game at E3. I was like, wow, okay, Metroid Prime, this is going to be great. And then Federation Force, I was not happy with that. But, so as a result of just these missteps that they've had over the years with Metroid, they've really had to find their footing again with this franchise. And they started to do that with Metroid Samus Returns and Metroid Dread, and eventually Metroid Prime 4. So the reason why this makes sense to me is because, when Nintendo announced Metroid Dread, they stated that this was the first Metroid game in 19 years, the first new 2D Metroid game in 19 years. That is a long time to go without a game in your core franchise. And as a result, not a whole lot of people really were familiar with Metroid. If you go into the comments of the Metroid Dread trailers, a lot of people were saying, this is going to be my first Metroid game. I've never played Metroid before. And so they've kind of had to refamiliarize people with this franchise. And that's exactly what Metroid Dread did. Now let's look at Metroid Prime 4. Yes, we have seen nothing of it. Only a logo. That's all we've seen. But in order for that game to do well, they've got to refamiliarize people with Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime plays very different than that of the 2D Metroids. It's also been 15 years since the last Metroid Prime game, and no, Federation Force does not count. They're going to have to refamiliarize people with this 3D aspect of Metroid. And the first way to do that is to port Metroid Prime over to the Switch, or eventually all three games. Because if they port all three games, then eventually the stage is going to be set for them to go all out whenever it comes to Metroid Prime 4. When they are finally ready to show that game off, people will be refamiliarized with Metroid Prime and how it plays, how it functions, and people will be ready for the grand reveal. Because I feel like, if they were to reveal Metroid Prime 4 right now, yes, it would get some hype from the core fan base, but for the people who have played Metroid Dread and who are familiar with the 2D aspect of Metroid, they may go this is not what I was expecting. But if Nintendo takes their time and gives us Metroid Prime Remaster, and then eventually 2, and eventually Metroid Prime 3, then the stage is set, guys, for them to go absolutely crazy whenever the curtain is lifted for Metroid Prime 4. And I think if they do that, Metroid Prime 4 is in a position to be one of the best-selling Metroid games of all time. Metroid Dread is already the best-selling 2D game of all time, but Metroid Prime 4 could very well be the best-selling 3D game of all time. I am super pumped if this turns out to be true, if this is the big holiday game. I am really just stoked for the potential Nintendo Direct that's coming up. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Metroid Prime is eventually going to come to Switch, whether it be this year or later on down the road? Please let me know in the comments below. And if you're new here, please subscribe. Until the next video, take care.